What's up, everybody? Welcome to the THP Strength Podcast. I know it's been a while, but it's because I was in China. Yeah, man. And because of that, that marks the official end to my dunk season.
Woo!
I don't know how I survived. But we actually ended the summer at a healthier spot than when I started the summer. And I got hurt really bad at the beginning of the summer. And I still was able to get healthier while competing and all that stuff. So having said that, it's time to train. It's time to get my bounce up, John. With our newfound lessons from last year.
Say that again, sorry?
With our newfound lessons.
Oh, yeah, lessons. Never do a functional overreach. Let's just do a quick review of last year, the absolute shit show that was last year. You know, you would think that me moving to Florida would have been the greatest thing for Isaiah's progression. In actuality, it couldn't have gone worse.
It actually technically was because I jumped my highest.
What's that?
It actually technically was because I jumped my highest ever.
Okay, all right, yeah. I know, I was just kidding. So we have now, we're let's see, a little over a year in past last summer through the macro cycle officially ended. Was it 13 months? How long was a macro cycle?
Oh, I don't know. We started in August. It was when I got back from China last year. So yeah, almost 13 months.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And now what would you say, and I do this with all my athletes because I like to, what were some trends that you've noticed over the last year? Like, what would you say was like, this is when I was jumping really high, this is when I was jumping really bad? I have my own thoughts, but I want to get your thoughts.
So what I noticed last year, volume. I always ended up jumping really high after hitting a lot of volume.
Like, give me some specific
leg extensions. We did high volume leg extensions for the first time. I jumped like dog shit, but then when I unloaded from all that, jumping really high.
When was that? When was that?
That was after China last year.
Is that whenever we went in and we just like fucked ourselves up and we were like, this is a good idea, and then you were sore as hell?
Yeah.
See, what's interesting about that is that you told me that you thought that was related to all the jumping. However, are you attributing now to the volume in the weight room? Or do you? I mean, technically they're not.
Technically it was both.
Yeah, technically you can't really isolate those things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in the macrocycle, what would we call the macrocycles in the macrocycle?
Macrocycles inside of macrocycles?
Yeah, because we technically peak twice.
No, I mean, you call it like a quadrennial macrocycle. So that would be like an Olympic year, like a 4-year cycle.
Yeah. So it's like an annual macrocycle and then like a biannual macrocycle.
Yeah. Exactly. I guess we'd call it that.
Yeah, but the second macrocycle in the year that we did, we also hit a ton of volume, and that was really good for my balance. Panda pulls was another thing.
Real quick, can you hear me? I switched mics.
Yeah, I can hear you. Panda pulls were really that was an exercise that made me realize how important not just power cleaning is for power cleaning. Deep squatting helps, but
so volume. Wait, I gotta rate this out because this is actually very relevant. I need to put this on my whiteboard.
This is actually good stuff. Like this
is good stuff right here.
Yeah.
I always have to put this on my whiteboard because I have Fabian's notes on one side, and now I have to put your notes on the other. And then when Joe Delgado calls me, I'm gonna have to put his notes on the other. I'm
gonna type a note on Team Builder too as I talk.
All right, let me erase all this shit for Fabian. I took a picture of it though. Don't let me forget. It's on the record.
Yeah.
I took a picture. All right. So
high volume always works.
And when you say it works, you mean after a deload?
Yeah, like I tend to jump high after a cycle of doing high volume.
Okay. Alrighty.
And then panda pulls and clean pull. Well, I think more so even panda pulls because it's more specific. Panda pulls help my power clean.
Cool.
Another lesson I learned: don't functional overreach.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest takeaway for me. I'll never do that shit again.
And just in
Okay,
general,
never in specific exercises.
I think, I mean, this is obviously obvious, but listen to your body, because my knee was getting slightly worse each session,
I'm
I
just
would do
putting
the
don't over jump.
I would do the pain test, and I would have like some left knee pain. It's just like, listen, when there's new pain that pops up, like listen to it, basically. Like listen to your body.
I mean, now you're in a fairly good spot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
you know what we haven't heard of in a long time? Your TFL. That's a word we haven't heard appear.
Bro, you know how I always say injuries are a blessing in disguise?
Yeah.
Guess what I was able to do in China? Full
Uh,
send a jump
full
without
sender
thinking
jump.
about my
Oh, because
TFL.
without your TFL being a thing.
Yeah.
Your
So I
IT
think
band
it low
ruptured.
key, the knee thing's been annoying, but it unloaded the TFL. I just have to be smart. I have to be smart with loading my jumps, and like I think this is setting me up for a 51 jump.
You know what's crazy is like I was talking to Tony the other day and I asked him, and I talk about this in my video that I'm going to post tomorrow, but I asked him like, who do you think is more talented, you or Isaiah, like naturally gifted? Who do you think's more genetically blessed? I want to hear your answer to this. I know what I said in the video, and I want to see if it's what you say.
I mean, I think it's Tony. That's not even
Okay,
close.
all right, yeah, that's. I think he was like scared to say it because he thought like you'd feel some type of way about him. Like, no, like if anything, it's like kudos to Isaiah for being as good as he is with
Yeah.
less.
Yeah, I think it's not even close.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I kind of told Tony like he had a very similar. He was like, I don't know what his upbringing was. Like, I don't know what his nurture is. And I was like, he trained a lot, and had a lot of jumping and played a lot of sports. Like his long term athletic development is very similar to yours. Played all the sports all the time. Loved them. Like almost identical.
Yeah.
And I basically said, Tony, I did a full review of what he did. He trained 11 months, of which total. Well, technically, it took longer than that, but of training, not rehab. It took 11 months
Yeah.
with slam ball built in. So
Yeah.
total cycles, I think was 10. No, maybe total was 11 months, but it was like 2 years with slam ball, breaks, rehab, and he was able to get to a 50.5, like
Yeah.
on the vert trainer, which I think is pretty fucking legit. And his reach, he said, was what, 7.5?
Yeah. I do think it's off a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah. I think that the actual vertical, I mean, even my flight time, I don't think you can get a 50, like 50 in general, unless you have 0.97 or above.
But 0.02.
That's just from the numbers that I've seen.
I know, but 0.002 is like, that's like, and he did do it on the vert trainer, which I think is harder. And he
It's like
slapped the fuck out of
0.004.
it.
Because when I did 50 on the dot, it was 972.
Yeah. I watched the way he slapped the fuck out of it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you think his reach is off, or you think
Yeah,
the vert trainer?
I think his reach is like 7.6. Which is why I think,
I don't know, dude. He slapped the fuck out of that, though.
yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. It's just from what I've seen, just from doing flight times.
Yeah. Yeah. What was Dax?
That's why I think standing, I think we need to find a different way to measure. Like I think height check is the only way to do it.
With what? With a correction factor?
I don't think you could correct. It's gonna be inflated, but it's the only way to compare person to person.
I did tell him the day before not to fudge his reach, and he said he was reaching hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I understand your reservations.
There's you know what the discrepancy could be?
What's that? Shoes?
Shoe size.
Could be shoe size. It could be shoe size. It could be shoe size. Well, we're like, what shoe he wore. I don't
Because if
know.
you're, oh
You
no,
know,
it
you
would
know what
go the
I,
other
you know what I
way.
was thinking about yesterday, because I thought this conversation was going to happen. Actually, I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my own Olympics where you have to test at least. I don't care how you do it. I'm not going to be that stringent, but
Yeah.
you got to test at least a 48. And I'm going to bring everyone out. I'm going to get a fucking Vertec, rent a gym, and we're all going to test together.
Yeah.
I'm
That
going to
really is
measure all the reaches.
the only way to do it. You could do multiple tests too.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think height check is the best way to, if you want to compare person to person who jumps higher, just measure how tall they are and then what can they hit with their head.
I don't know. I just feel like it's not. I feel like that's more imperfect.
But in what way?
Because your limb length, mass, how you fucking this or reposition your limbs.
But
Like
that
it's just like
all that can be said for reach with your hand too.
I think it's less variable. Like it's less variable.
Nah,
And
I
even your
think the
even your shoe
inconsistency in
length, I feel
measuring.
like is more.
If standing reach was perfect, there would be less variables. But the fact that it's inconsistent makes it more variable. The
Unless
fact that
I,
you can't
unless I
consistently,
measure it.
because you could even do things like, all right, you could stretch. You could do this stretch, and this stretch, and then you could that adds half an inch. Like there's way more. The inconsistency in measuring your arm reach, like leaning, like breathing, your lungs, how much air do you have in your damn lungs?
Yeah.
Changes it.
I'm such a fucking hater of height checks. I think it's so lame. At least I admit my bias, but
Yeah,
I don't like them because I know how much they can quote unquote like inflate your vertical. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because then what are we gonna have? A bunch of fucking 58s? Like,
yeah. Well, I don't think it would. It's it would be 3 inches.
you think so?
Yeah,
Dude, how high I've seen you get your fucking neck above. Oh, but what are you actually hitting your head on, is what you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So you can hit your head on.
When I do, if you look at legit angles of these fucking jumps and stuff, it's really like here.
Okay.
Like
All
you're
right. Well,
looking.
that's another conversation for another day. We're gonna save that for another day. We're
Yeah.
gonna focus. We're gonna focus on you. Regardless, I really would like
I
three
do
athletes.
think, having
I would
said all
love
that,
three athletes that officially tested a 50, and I know they're like, if they're not 50,
yeah.
I mean,
No, no, no. That's what I was gonna say. Is like
I genuinely
having,
think Tony did. I want to see what Donovan tests. That's my honest like
yeah,
lens
yeah.
on
Like having said all that, I do think he has a 50-inch vertical.
it. Just maybe not on that jump.
Yeah. No, that jump could be. I think that jump could be 50.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think.
height.
I
I
think
think upper end on the 0.96 range is like
50, 5-0.
you might be you might be pushing 50
Yeah. All right. So we'll
with
say
variables that we don't know
you're
exist.
saying it's there's a likely chance that it was a legitimate 50, but not 50.5.
No, maybe it is 50.5 because I don't know what like arms, fucking one arm going down. Maybe we have different leg masses. You're
Yeah.
fucking like there's so many physics that goes into it that like flight time is
No,
tough
I
to.
agree. Flight time's imperfect,
Yeah,
but I will say this. We do know this. The vert trainer is very accurate. So it probably was 11.7.5. Even when we've tried to fuck with it, even when we put it up, it's always been pretty accurate.
yeah,
I will say that. And then two, he slapped the fuck out of it. And he is Austin's height and has similar arm length, I think, to
yeah,
Austin. So I think those variables, it would make sense to me.
yeah.
But
I will
I do
respect
agree.
anybody that I will take his word that he's reaching hard. If he said he was reaching hard and then he touched that, then we got another
That's good.
50.
That's good enough for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 athletes at 50 inches, maybe 3 coming up this week. Fingers crossed. Back to you.
Yeah.
We got don't over jump, high volume, unload. Panda pull increases your power clean. We know your power clean is strongly correlated with your vertical. We've also
Yeah.
seen this with Martin as well. His vertical went up 6 inches, which is crazy. So we know that.
Oh, and plyos helped after training.
What
At
is that?
least from my subjective experience, I feel like they help if I'm healthy going into it and if I've gotten stronger going into it.
Now, when you say plyos, what plyos do you mean?
Uh Depth jumps specifically.
Like high ass depth jumps.
Big and then bigger ranges of motion and stuff where I can have high intent.
So like big ROM, big depth jump, big ROM, low
Yeah.
volume. Has to be low volume.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no way. I mean, that's kind of what we did anyways, but all right. Do you
Also,
feel like it was after you unloaded or it was immediate?
After I unloaded it.
Okay, so load, unload. All right, that's good to know.
And then something that I do want to possibly do a sprint. Haven't sprinted. I sprinted leading into this, and I felt good jumping.
All right. I'm all for that. Okay, so yeah, we've got a lot of notes here. My lens of it is that oftentimes what happens, you load for 6 or 7 months, you see a lot of adaptation from that, and you are more fatigued, and it's harder to figure out where your body's actually at in that continuum. And then whenever you kind of truly freshen up and get healthy, that's whenever I think you pop off big jumps. Like pretty damn consistently, I've seen that happen every time. Like if it's not when we think it's supposed to be, it happens within a short, not short period of time, but it does.
It could be like 2 weeks later.
It could be 2 weeks later. It could be a month later. It could be 2 months later. Like technically, we look at where you were at dunk camp and you weren't like ready. Technically, it could have been 2 weeks prior to that. So
I will say, dunk camp I jumped high. Like I think dunk camp was 9.6 something on the flight time.
Right. Do you know?
Yeah, I can look at it real quick.
I think you were jumping higher at UCF 2 weeks prior.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
I think one thing we can never get away from is that getting your weight room numbers up always helps. Getting you stronger and more powerful has never made you worse.
I'm not. Oh wait, here's dunk camp. Yeah, that's always. I'm looking at some of these sessions that you.
Yeah, they're like
leading up to dunk camp, and I was
absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
So now we are. I'm going to take a picture of this because I'm going to write more notes. So, do you want to? The next question you kind of have to ask. Well, you have to ask yourself is where do you want to peak next? Like when do you want to be at your best next? Because that'll kind of dictate where we're going from here. Do you want to do? Or do you think you're going to have an all-star weekend gig? Like, what's kind of your
program? So the next thing I have is contest against Jordan. That'll be winter, like either December or January. So that's one thing. Second thing would be meeting up with Dak and Tony and beating them, essentially. That's would be my 2 goals. I want to do that at some point in the next 6 months.
Okay, that could happen in Houston for sure.
Yeah.
So that's October 14th. I need to get the location, which I'm still trying to figure out. Donovan actually just texted me about that.
I would love that. Like, I would love to peak for that. And
Tony said he'd be down to go as well. So that would be perfect. You'd have Donovan, Tony, you all.
Yeah, like if there's ever an environment to do that in, it would be at that time.
All right, so we can. Yeah,
that would be that would be a good. Bro, look at.
I can't see the screen. I'm looking at the what? Wait, what was it? 0.967?
Yep.
Look at that.
That was the dunk camp. That was the first one where my finger was like
just behind it.
Yeah.
All right. So, and that was very legit. I measured the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
It was a pain in the ass, truly. October 14th. Let's plan to that, and then we can look forward after that.
Okay.
So we've got, how many weeks do we have? We have 6 weeks?
Yep.
6 weeks. We just need to find a gym. As far as gyms, what are your...
So that's October 14th?
October 14th, yep.
So that's like, that's a Monday. That's weird. 1, 2.
You got to think, all these guys are pro athletes. It's not like,
Yeah. All right, cool. So what did you ask?
So as far as gyms, we just need to find a gym. If you can help me do that, that would be good. I've asked Pat Pyle, but he hasn't hit me back about it. So we need to figure that out ASAP.
Probably just put something on my story.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be good. I don't mind paying to rent it out. I think that would be good.
I think Andy would I think Andy wanted to set something up too, so we could have him like help out too.
Andy Nicholson?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, are we using the vert trainer to test? Do you want to use the vert trainer if we do it, or would you rather use a vert tech?
Shoot, I don't know.
We can figure that out later.
Yeah.
If Andy helps, we use the vert trainer. But if not, I think use the vert tech. That way, Tony can test, you can test, everyone can test at the same time.
Yeah.
And so we just need to find a good court. There's going to be 6 guys, 7, 8 maybe tops. Right now it's Donovan, you, Tony, Shelby, Jeremiah Davis, who's the top long jumper right now, or at least he won Olympic trials. So, and then we have Will Williams. Jeremiah and Will currently have been dunking a lot. They're a bit shorter than you guys, but their head is at least at the rim. Shelby's probably eye level on 10 foot.
Yeah.
So they're going to be nasty. They said they would run 5s too, which I think would be awesome to watch. Mason and Travis also are down to go, which would be crazy. That'd be a crazy group.
Yeah.
Do you want to play 5s or you just want to dunk?
It depends, honestly. I wouldn't know until
Do you
the
want
day.
to have the option too? Huh?
I don't care.
What you say?
I honestly don't care. My priority would be testing. Like, to be honest, if I'm testing, I wouldn't want to run 5s.
Ooh, that's tough. I'd rather do a dunk session, I think, with you guys.
Yeah, I think dunk is.
Test. So I think session. Yeah. I think session and play would be like better. I think
instead of testing.
Instead of testing, yeah. I think so. I mean, we can bring it, but I think don't make that the priority of the session, especially because you're going to have other guys that want to dunk with you.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
If we want to test, we can test the week before, maybe.
Yeah.
But I would rather keep that. You know what I mean? Unless we're going to do a longer trip or something, but that would be my lens personally. I think that would be better for multiple reasons, which I'll go into when we're not on a podcast. All right. So yeah, October 14th, we'll do that. So we have 6 weeks. I think, we just run a mesocycle and then unload for a week, probably 4 or 5 weeks of loading, and then back off. And then we can peak micro taper for that. And then from there, we will go into a full, kind of macro cycle leading into January for the contest against Jordan, bar another event not coming up. I think that makes the most amount of sense.
Okay.
All right. Let me do this now. My dear Watson. That'll be good enough, I hope, maybe. All right. Cool. Yeah, line that up perfectly. Look at this. You can see everything. It's like an overhead view. All right. So let's go into, do we want to share screen or? I don't know. It doesn't seem like that ever does well, but I'm down to do it. Okay. Let's go. Team builder. I mean, where do you think your numbers are at right now?
I think I'm actually really strong at the moment.
Oh, you put the notes in there. Nice.
Yeah.
I think we run some like a kind of standard max strength volume kind of cycle.
Yeah.
I think that would go really well. I'm tempted actually to adjust one of the Prinsloo cycles because Martin fucking blew after.
Yeah. I'm down. I'm down with one of those.
Yeah. I just don't know if we're going to have to make a lot of adjustments.
Yeah.
But this will take you through. So here's the thing. Do you want to start on today or like next week, or how do you want to do it? Like you could repeat the first week next week if you wanted.
I guess that could work, right? Because it's 5 weeks or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll start Wednesday and then I'll just repeat.
I mean, the unload, we'd probably have to extend it a week too. So it's fine. I can draw it out. I'll do that. All right. Let me share screens. Whoops. Share screen. Bada bing, bada boom. You can see this?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to look at the week view. This always makes it easier. There's no way you conceivably survive this volume. So we're going to have to make some changes. Panda pull
doesn't seem bad though.
I don't think you could barbell back squat. I mean, you want front squat?
Oh, you're saying yeah, front or half.
I think front. I'd rather you deep squat.
That looks horrible. But then front squat.
Do you want the upper out? Yeah, I'll take that out.
Yeah.
And then there's a complex on this day. I don't know if you'll be able to do this.
What's that at 50%? Oh, that's really interesting.
I'll leave it in. If you can do it, do it. But this was part of the reason he improved so much.
Really?
Yeah, I think it just added volume. Look at this.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Do you think I could survive? My knee could survive?
I think that if you don't jump, yeah, for sure.
Or like do drops or something?
Yeah, on this Saturday for sure.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Keep it
Adjust
in. I'll be able
adjust
to
as necessary.
gauge
I
it
think
by day.
you can do it. I mean, it's pretty light, dude. 50%. It's basically like 50%, dude. I mean, what is that? Like
Yeah, no, that's light.
150? Like,
And it's 3 reps.
yeah, that should be very easy. You know, you're doing 3 reps of a high pull, I'm kind of worried about your back, if anything.
If I don't, no, if it's not heavy as hell, my back's gonna be fine.
Do you think front squat here, reverse lunge? Like,
Ooh, single leg work.
we could do reverse lunge if you want. You want to do reverse lunge?
Yeah, let's do that. Like a front rack reverse or a back
Mm-hmm.
or a safety bar.
Like safety squat?
No,
Or
no,
safety
like
squat reverse.
single leg.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
like with the safety bar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not surviving that. We'll go 5. This, I don't know if you conceivably survive this. It's pretty light.
15 at 70. Oh, that's easy.
25 reps.
Let me see. 70 would be, what number do you want me to work off of?
Your current max.
So that's probably like 285. 295 actually is probably what I'm at.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's 205. Bro, I could do that all day.
All right. So then this is optional. These days are optional if you want. Really, it's just the complex I really want to see in there. And then we've got clean pull this. Hack squat you don't have. I mean, I don't know. One of those two. I just want to blow your quads up.
Yeah. And this would be deep, right?
Yeah, ideally.
I could find somewhere with that.
Or leg extension. I don't know if you can do this. That might not happen on your back.
No, I'll be fine. The bad thing on my back is like back squatting, and like pulls and stuff like that. If it's not deadlift percentages, I'm usually really good.
All right, so let's fucking give this a rip, mate.
And then Saturday, what do you think I should do for the
Drop,
elastic?
sure.
Do you think I should just like
Absolutely
do
drops. Do not plan on jumping. Drops or box jumps.
Okay.
Like do not plan on having sessions.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. So
see how the week goes. Do you want me to run?
No, not the first week. If anything, we'll put it in the second week. But
Okay.
this week, no. I mean, let's just see what happens through the first If we put that in, because this is an extended cycle, it'll be like later next week. And it'll start with like 10-meter sprints. But I don't want to put that shit in yet. No way. Yeah. I think you will regret that if you do it. But this covers all the boxes. It checks all the boxes that you kind of have. It's high volume. It doesn't have plyos, but it's high volume. You've got clean pulls in there. You've got panda pulls in there. You've got power cleans in there. You've got a lot of squat volume. So I think that it checks kind of all the boxes that we looked at. And then we'll load until the week before, I think. Maybe 10 days. It depends on how fatigued you are.
Yeah.
And then from there, we'll make a judgment call. But I mean, today is going to be interesting because you have 25 reps of cleans. Singles, it's an EMOM, so it's going to take you 25 minutes to do.
Oh shit! Wait, it's 25?
25 reps. Yeah.
I thought I saw 50. So oh my god, it's 10.
Plus, you can only put like it doesn't let you put more.
It says the last one's at 75%. Is that still an EMOM or am I like
That's
resting?
part of the EMOM.
Okay, so just
So the last
throw
5
more
reps
weight
of
in there.
EMOM, you're adding weight for 5 reps, 5
I
minutes.
see.
The last 5 minutes, you're at max intensity.
Can I do just so I don't have to go to the gym? Can I do Nordic hamstring curl instead of the hamstring curl machine?
Oh yeah. What else do you have? Do you have anything else?
No, it would be seated calf raise the other day, and then Friday I can go to a gym and do the hack
Yeah,
squats
that's fine.
here.
That's fine. You could do that.
And then let me see what Monday.
What if your
Yeah,
vertical goes up 6 inches? That'll be so cool.
imagine.
Some of you guys listening to this, if you have this cycle, you're probably pretty seasoned. I have not programmed this for many guys, maybe a couple. But yeah, it's a fucking doozy. Like, so all right.
What number should I work off of on the reverse lunge?
It should be hard. It should be hard, but you should be able to go up and wait for the next 4 weeks. You know, max
work off of
that 4th week. So I don't know.
I'm gonna assume I can do 315.
For 4 each leg or 1?
No, like for 1.
So I'd probably be at like, I don't know, 80%, 70%, between 70 and 80%.
All right. I see.
All right. Well, that is all we have time for today.
All right.
I'm going to go do some research and go train. But yeah, if you guys are interested in getting coached by us, go teachmestrength.com and sign up. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we will see you tomorrow. See you, boys and girls.